Okay, good morning, dear all. It is with great pleasure that we welcome you to another webinar organized by the EUROPACE consortium. It is we, the Spanish partner AGENEX, who is in charge of organizing this online event, and we really hope it will be useful for experts and decision makers in charge of managing programs, one-stop shops, and other organizations, such as local authorities and financial institutions, promoting home renovation and energy-related retrofits. This webinar will explore how different European home renovation programs deal with the management and validation of contractor and energy experts, as well as their related works and services. It will include the processes, selection procedures, quality guarantees, and tools used to assess their competence and the quality of the services. The session will focus on the verification of the contractors and energy experts, as the quality and professionalism exhibited by these technical stakeholders are key elements in determining a program success. Additionally, contractor and expert training, quality guarantees to homeowners, the effect of the COVID-19 pandemic on retrofit businesses, and program turnovers will also be addressed within the session. So the program is the following. In the first place, our first speaker, Mr. Eduard Victoria, is the technical manager at the Hola Domus program in Olot, Catalonia, in Spain. This program stems directly from the main pilot action at the EUROPACE project under the H2020, the same project that currently is hosting this seminar. Hola Domus is a program that accompanies citizens during the process of reforming their homes and improve comfort, accessibility, and health and energy consumption. During its brief existence, it has already reached positive results in the city of Olot and is currently being replicated in other cities in Spain and Portugal. Right after Mr. Eduard Victoria, our second speaker, Antoine Hervé, is a consulting engineer at Puget Consultants, one of the partners of the Orphée project and an expert in French house retrofit programs. In Orphée, four third-party financing companies, Société Tiers Financement in French, are coming together to support and improve financing and technical assistance offers for energy renovation of individual houses and condominiums within 4 French regions: Grand Est, Hauts-de-France, Île-de-France, and Nouvelle-Aquitaine. Orphée project aims to create a shared platform called the Office of Renovations and Finances for Energy Efficiency for the attention of third-party financing companies. This platform will act as a resource center to define a corpus of conformity and quality for housing renovations. It is precisely Orphée's quality and compliance framework the main point of interest for this webinar, as it defines the critical causes for retrofit risk and the related controls at each stage of the renovation project. Our third speaker, Bettina Dogendorf, is a sustainability and sustainable finance manager at the KfW, the German state-owned investment and development bank based in Frankfurt. Ms. Dogendorf's intervention will deal with the federal promotional funding programs for energy efficiency construction and refurbishment. Former KfW efficient construction and refurbishment. This is the domestic flagship and best practice program established in 2006 with 180 billion financing volume. The programs are available and follow the same logic for all types of buildings and investor types, combining both loans and grants. The presentation will deal, among other issues, with the important role of the energy expert in the different stages of the support framework, from application to the work's completion. Our fourth speaker, Mr. Borja Gumucio, is currently part of the G&E team and is also a program manager at the OpenGela program at the Basque Country in Spain. OpenGela is a project which looks to spread urban regeneration in the Basque Country using a novel new instrument, the creation of neighborhood offices which will act as one-stop shops to provide advice and support to the neighborhood community. The office in each neighborhood, the OpenGela, centralizes all the procedures and administration related to the process of integrated renovation of the apartment buildings, from administrative paperwork to dealing with the contractors or provision of financial aid. Our last speaker, Mr. Francisco Marquez, is part of the team at AGENEX and is currently the main project manager at House Invest. House Invest is currently developing a financing scheme defined for the full energy renovation of multifamily houses in Extremadura, Spain, which comes with a combination of innovative tools for standardization, pooling, bundling, and de-risking of the investments. HousingBest also works as a one-stop shop and has to deal with issues concerning the quality of the works and the experts and contractors in charge of them, which will also have to be trained and monitored. So this is basically our program, and I'm very happy to give place to the first speaker, Mr. Eduard Victoria.
Hello, everyone. First, okay, thank you very much, Alfredo, for your presentation. As he said, I want to explain the energy expert and validation and management system in our program, although in a lot. My presentation is going to split in validation, training, and management of that professionals. First, I want to distinguish between two different professionals we have in the program, the technicians and the contractors. The technicians are the energy experts who are going to carry out the EPC energy performance certificate or energy audits or technical projects from small projects or the comprehensive rehabilitation. And the contractors is more about the execution works, or they are installers or builders to make individual measures, packed measures, or the whole rehabilitation of the houses. When we have done that distinguishes the two different roles, the validation process is exactly the same. From the program, we send that to that professionals, the validation requirement documents. The first part is the measures. They have to select what measure they want to validate in the program. Is it to redact the project or EPCs, or which measure he's going to want to validate. The second part is the administrative requirements, just to make sure for our side that that professional is legally operational. They have paid the taxes, are legally functional. And the third part is technical requirements, more about we want to know what's the experience of that professional of each measure they have selected. Putting the last 3 years or 4, all the project they have done. And maybe in some of that cases we ask them more information of one of them, and possible to contact with the homeowners to verify that they are satisfied with their job. To that validation, it's tried with another certificate. It's Consta certificate. It's already used in Catalonia, and it's certified by the Catalan government and the agency Habitatge of Catalonia. Once we verified all that documentation in the first stage from our program, we start with a signature of the Holodomos program with that professional. Sign off the collaboration agreement with one document is the general framework, is the CD1, we call CD1, is the define all the parts of are involved in that refurbishment, and depend of the type of professional I commented before, they have to sign off the contract if they are technician service or contractor services. And they have to sign off another two very important documents, the PPC, the Customer Protection Policy, and the Code of Conduct. The Customer Protection Policy aims to protect the homeowner to any situation could be happening in the rehabilitation, and now they are act with responsibility. fair and honest treatment to the homeowner. And the code of conduct committed to action with the transparency and integrity of that professional, because we want to make sure and they follow the rules and they are ethical and law enforcement of that professional. After that stage, we start to training, the contractor training. That doesn't mean we are going to train the professionals with their jobs, with how to do their jobs. It's more about to explain more detail in 5 videos all the programs and modules. They can see the adherence of the program in more detail, the basic concepts of the program, the procedures, the IT platform, and hiring vulnerable groups. In that videos, the professional can see it at any time, and more flexible for them to see it and to be trained. When we talk about the contractor management, we have to talk about the job generation. In our program, could be in 2 different ways. The Oladomus can find the different homeowners they want to carry on a rehabilitation in their homes, and in that way the program contact with the contractor, or could be the contractor contact with the program, say, okay, I have that homeowner want to carry on one of my measures, but that contractor bring to the program to the program assess that homeowner maybe to do a big rehabilitation of their homes. If it is the first way, the homeowner, the Oladomus program contact with that homeowner, then for each specific measure, we contact with at least for 3 professionals to send us the quote. After we receive the quote, we make the comparative of that quotes, and we send to the homeowner, and finally the homeowner pick one professional, and the program sign off the contract between the professional, homeowner, and the program. During the execution works, the program, the personnel of the program, we check the evolution of the task, the works, but we don't visit the work if it's not necessary. Just if we will visit the home if it's some incident. Some incident can happen if the homeowner call us, okay, I have a problem with that professional. Okay, the professional, the technicals of the programs go to the home and we see what happens, and as a third party we try to mediate with that incident, redact a report and make remedial actions, talking with the professional, and if it's something wrong or something it's not addressed properly, the professional can have some points. The point system, it's detailed in the PPC, and it's a system we use because if some of the professionals arrive to amount of points, it would be possible temporarily out of the program. And at the end of the works, we send a satisfaction survey to the homeowners to verify everything it was okay and analyze if they are satisfied with their jobs and from the professional and the program. Another tool to gather all that information is the IT platform. In our program, we use the Smart Sheets. The Smart Sheets is a program to put all that workspace for each professional. It could be from our point of view and from the professionals. They can see all their profile, all the information, all the opportunities we send to the professionals, and the works they already signed. And they can see all the incidents that happen in their jobs, if there are any. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Duarte. We're going to go to Mr. Antoine Hervé, explaining the ORFE project. Thank you.
Thank you, Alfredo. Thank you, Edward. I'm just making sure everybody can see my screen. Alfredo, can you confirm?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Thank you very much. Well, hello everybody. Nice to meet all of you, even though it's on a webinar session. Thank you very much, Alfredo, for the introduction and the proposition to present you the ORFE project and what it means as professional selection criteria we introduce in this project. Just a quick word on this ORFE project. Well, besides the meaning of this acronym, which is the Office for Renovations and Financing for Energy Efficiency, ORFE is a H2020 project we are a part of here at Projet Consultant. Projet Consultant is an engineering company where I'm a thermal engineer, and we are actually leading one of the work packages of this project, which is led by Énergie Demain, which is a consulting firm in Paris. So the aim of this European project, is to build a resource center, as Alfredo said, to strengthen what we call third-party financing companies, or Société de tiers financement in French, which is a special form of company. So yes, our aim with this project is to strengthen this business model, in which we believe as to be a good lever for renovation here in France and in Europe as a whole. So here I'm not gonna try and go into too much detail about this project, which is quite wide and composed of 7 work packages. I'm just going to try and focus on professional selection and how it is implemented in this project. So I'm right away going to focus on one of those work packages, which is what we call the Office Framework for Compliance and Quality, which is one of the work packages, and which is supposed to be like a base of this project, on which we're going to build several different other work packages, including a guarantee, which I'm going to talk about later. So the aim of this quality and compliance framework is not intended to reinvent what could I say, existing regulations or existing practices. The idea here, as a quick overview, is to show you that this framework aims at gathering all of those regulations, practices, guidelines, etc., across all different trades, and well, align them into one single framework, so that we can gain into control of quality and compliance across all different trades. The way we build this framework as a general approach, we took the decision with the different third-party financing companies, which Alfredo mentioned in the introduction. Actually, 4 of those companies are part of the ORFE project, and we are co-building together this framework from their experience and from our expertise, in order to, as I said, ensure quality and compliance of renovation projects, whether they are multi-family housing or single-family housing. So the general approach we used for this construction and the design of this framework is what we call a risk-oriented approach. We actually came back from the risks and tried and identified the different causes of those risks, thus determining which criteria we needed to determine for the professional selection. I'm not going to try and go into too much detail about all of these, but what you just need to remember is that we prioritized 3 risks in a renovation project, which are energy performance, meaning the risk of not getting the energy performance intended, the risks of health issues, and the risks of technical and patrimonial issues, meaning risks in structure, pathologies, and etc. So same here, I'm not going to go into too much detail about each stages. I just wanted to give you a very quick overview as an introduction of how we built this framework just before I'm coming back on track on the selection of professional. We first identified the different causes associated to the risks I just mentioned, which led us to a list of 15 causes, which we identify with the SCFs, the third-party financing companies. We then qualified those causes depending on their risk magnitude and risk frequency in order to prioritize them. And once we did that, we proceeded through what we call the design of the controls. This is actually the finality of this project, is to build this framework, which contains a list of different controls. We could call it a checklist of different controls, which we propose the STF are going to follow if they want to make sure and certify the quality and compliance of their projects. And within these controls, we're going to find some requirements associated with professional selection. Just a quick word here on the third block on the right. This is just an illustration of what these controls are going to be, and what those number means is that for each control, we have 15 controls associated with the 15 causes, and each control is going to contain a list of verifications you're going to have to, well, the STF is going to have to perform during the project, from feasibility through maintenance. And the thing is, we identified a level of control depending on the level of risks. Here, a control of level number 1 means it's a rather strict control, and control of level number 2 it rather is less strict, is a control you can perform on a sample basis, for example. And that being said, the selection of professional in this whole work is actually contained in those different verifications and those different controls. And the way we implemented it in this framework is that is what I describe in this blue ribbon below, is that in a general, as a general rule, what we see now that the framework is, you've understood by now that this is an ongoing project, and this is actually in the works. But what we can take out of it as a general rule is that in level 1 controls, we usually have some professional selection rules, meaning we're gonna come and we're gonna try and select the professionals we're gonna work with depending on their qualifications or their certification. Here in France, we have kind of a different definition for those two, which means a different level of requirement. And here, what I mentioned, RGE and OPQIEBI, sorry, are two different certification, French certification we are actually using in this project. And level 2 controls are gonna be on a rather different rule, is that we're not actually we're not necessarily going to be controlling certifications and qualifications of all companies, of all professionals working on the projects, but maybe we're going to use it, those certification and qualification, as a way to adjust the sampling I just talked about. Meaning, when in one project we have a professional who has one or more certifications, we're going to have a rule of sampling of verifications, which is going to be less strict than if the professional doesn't have any of those certifications. just to come out of a theory and try and give you an example, here is one of the control we've now redacted with third-party financing companies. The name of the control is inconsistent energy assessment and projection. As I said, we have 15 controls, and this is one of them. And we've identified that as a potential risk of deviance from quality and compliance. The risk level we identified is moderate, so the control level is only 2, meaning it can be performed on a sample basis. And the only stage involved here, meaning the only moment in the project when we're going to perform this control, is during design phase, during engineering phase. And the 3 verifications we've converged on with third-party financing companies is, well, those 3 verifications you see here: a project energy checklist, as the verification of the software used, but I'm gonna pass on that. And the 3rd verification you can see here is that here in this very verification of this control, we're gonna try and verify which accreditation the professional has, and if it corresponds to the one we determine as being absolutely required for this control. So here it's a bit of an exception compared to the general rules I just told you about on the slide before. But what you just need to remember is that this verification might be based on a sample basis, meaning we're not going to verify for each project the accreditation of each and every professional who have performed assessment. But when we do, we're going to verify that this professional does have the good accreditation, the good certification. So this is just an example. I don't have any slide showing you each and every certification and qualification we are actually using in those verification points. The only thing I wanted to add is besides the certification, and qualification, we also determine some verifications, meaning some verification points based on professional work experiences, based on previous work experiences, meaning in some of those controls that we build in this framework, we're going to base our audit on both certification of the professional and at least 3 previous work experience in a performance renovation program. So just a quick word about the next steps of this project, of this project as a whole. The idea behind this framework is to serve as a base, as I told you, to build up a guarantee which will derive from the framework. And the main goals of this guarantee is actually to enable those third-party financing companies to take out a bottle contract, which could be very useful to them. And then to use this framework and this guarantee in order to propose a performance guarantee, which we believe would be a great lever to enhance and to industrialize renovation works here in France. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Antoine. Now we are going to pass the word to our colleague Bettina Dorendorf. So please, Bettina.
Can you hear me well?
Yes, we can.
Yeah. So good morning, everyone. My name is Bettina Dorendorf. I'm working at KfW, the German state-owned promotional bank, as Senior Sustainability Manager. And many thanks for inviting KfW to contribute to this webinar. So KfW is one of the largest global financiers to support environmental protection and fight against the negative impact of climate change. I will actually skip further introduction in order to have more time for the topic of my speech, which will deal with the role of the energy expert in the context of deploying promotional products for energy efficiency in buildings. I'd like to start at slide number 7, please. Yes, thank you very much. KfW is acting always on behalf and within the mandate of the German government. We have developed a best practice promotional scheme to finance energy efficiency in the building sector, which is actually a veritable success story. KfW has decades of experience in offering customer-oriented promotional product for the building sector, for residential buildings, commercial buildings, and public buildings. Since its inception in 2006, the program Energy Efficient Construction and Refurbishment has provided promotional support to over 6 million housing units. Today, more than every second newly built housing unit benefits from the promotional support of the Federal Republic of Germany. It has already been mentioned that since the start of the program, more than 180 billion of promotional volume has been provided to the market. As please change to slide number 8. As per July 2021, the promotional scheme for energy efficiency will undergo some changes and become the Federal Promotion for Energy Efficiency in Buildings. As you can see on the slide, it is divided into 3 compartments, one for residential buildings, one for non-residential buildings, and one for new construction and refurbishment, and the third one for single measures. For all of these promotional support programs, the involvement of an energy expert is actually mandatory. KfW has developed the so-called efficiency house, and the basic principle for this efficiency house is that the higher the degree of energy efficiency reached, or the higher the degree of energy efficiency, the higher the level of promotion. Promotional support is provided only if the efficiency measures go far beyond what is legally required. Slide number 9, please. First, there is a typing error here on the slide. It reads dedicated pool established in 2021, so it must read 2012. So the mandatory involvement of an energy expert plays a focal role in the application and approval process for obtaining subsidy for energy efficient construction and refurbishment. Since 2012, private customers are obliged to involve an energy expert in the application and approval process for residential buildings. From July 2021 onwards, the involvement is mandatory for all customer groups. So all energy, and let me highlight the most important feature here, which is that all energy experts involved in the promotional process must be listed in a targeted register, which has been set up in 2012 to support the promotional programs. There is a dedicated web page. I highlighted it here on the slide, Energieeffizienzexperten.de. This pool is managed by the German Energy Agency, DINA, and has been set up together with the German Federal Ministry of Environmental Affairs, Federal Ministry of Economic Affairs and Environment, KfW, and the German Energy Agency. So the energy experts have to pay an annual fee for their membership, which is 100 euros for registration and 120 euros for the module of their membership they choose. So it can be residential or non-residential or single measures or all the 3 together. There is a 100-page rule book explaining the rights and obligations, training requirements, conflict resolution procedures, etc. This rule book is actually publicly available. The website allows, we will see it in a minute, for a regional search for the experts, as well as a search for specialization, for instance, for residential buildings, non-residential buildings, or certain single measures. So the professional level required to get access to this pool of experts is quite high. Or the expert has a university degree, which is typical for the industry, for instance, architecture, building construction, engineering, etc. This university degree also must qualify the expert to issue an energy performance certificate. In addition to this, there is the requirement prior to registering in the pool, to attend to a training program of 120 training units are 45 minutes, which is a specialist professional training with a predefined catalog, which is described in the rule book in detail, covering 80 hours of basic training on building renovation plus 40 units of training specializing on residential or non-residential energy efficiency building related subjects. So there is a potential, there's one more potential group of professionals qualified to register in this pool, and these are master craftsmen or technicians. So they also have to prove their qualification, and in addition to that, attend a 200 training unit specialized program. Both groups have to pass an examination at the end of the course. So as you can see, to gain access to this list, quite an effort has to be done. There is just one exception regarding to the obligation to be listed in the expert pool, and this relates to single measures in relation to heating systems. So here, no listing is required. It is sufficient to present a declaration of a specialized company dedicated to heating systems. But this is not enough. There is a requirement to relist every 3 years. And in the meantime, the experts have to follow a predefined catalog of professional trainings whereby their attendance has to be proven in order to make sure the expert can keep up-to-date knowledge on technical, legal, and market developments regarding energy efficiency in the building sector. KfW in the past has been supporting all these activities via the KfW Academy, offering specialized trainings, technical trainings on energy efficiency in the building sector. So after having explained all this, I think it is not surprising if I say that this list is regarded as the AAA list among the energy experts. It has a very good reputation due to the very high professional expectations associated with the membership. There is also a specialized and separate list for energy efficiency experts in the monument building sector, but so the process is very similar. Please skip to page 10. Thank you. So what you can see here is an example on how the website looks like. There is an entry for private homeowners. In the middle, you see the entry for corporates and public sector companies and municipalities, and on the right hand, you see the entry for energy experts. It is possible to provide a search. To page 10, please. Yes, pen 10. Yes. A search via the postal code, and also determine how many kilometers around the personal postal code the energy expert is supposed to be located. It is possible to choose between different options regarding the expectation of towards the expert activity, or an efficiency house, which always means a comprehensive refurbishment or a new construction with ambitious efficiency level, or single measures being wall insulation, doors, windows, heating system, or ventilation. Next page, please. Next page, please. Thank you. So the expert is actually involved in the entire process from application to approval of the promotional funds. The energy once the customer decides to undergo or to invest into energy efficiency, he apply for a promotional product, loan or grant. He is obliged to consult and contact the energy expert first, and this energy expert will talk or will advise the customer with regard to the energy efficiency measures planned, and check if this is suitable for promotion. Checking the suitability for promotion is done on the basis of an online tool where the promotional conditions are pre-checked against the efficiency level envisaged by the customer. So once the promotional application has been filed and approved, the expert will support the customer alongside the whole process, and the expert has to sign up on the promotional loan or grant application, confirming that the energy efficiency technical variables are in line with the promotional conditions. Once the energy efficiency project has been implemented, the expert has to sign once again that the measures have been implemented in line with the promotional conditions and in line with the plan. So two important signatures, and next slide, please. Thank you. After implementation of the measures, as I said, the expert must check whether the efficiency measures are in line with the planning, and as a consequence qualify for the scope of promotional grant support they applied for. The expert for this purpose will check invoices, check the implementation based on photos, and also in some cases by on-site visit. Important is that the expert has to provide its signature to confirm the compliance, and only then the main promotional grant element will be booked. The involvement of the promotion in the promotional process creates a win-win situation for all the parties involved. For the customer and investor in energy efficiency refurbishment, it provides guidance in preparing and implementing the refurbishment project, which is particularly important for private individuals, condominiums, and SMEs. What you see also on the slide are the different layers of quality check with regard to the work of the energy expert. So first, there is a high ambition or a high level of qualification required for entering into the expert pool. Then as a second layer of quality control, there is a case-by-case plausibility check of the energetic parameters, which are used to calculate the efficiency level reached for energy efficient new construction and comprehensive refurbishments. So this will control the expert's work. In addition to this, there is a regular sample of documentation checked by KfW in order to control in detail the planning and compare it with the actual implementation documents. In addition to this, there are on-site visits and comprehensive control of implementation based on the planning. So these on-site visits are provided by dedicated experts. KfW has contracted, and so in summary, there are different layers to control, making sure that the public funds are well spent. Next slide, please. So who will pay for the involvement of the energy expert? There is a grant covering up to 50% of the cost, which is up to 4,000 euros in place. The cost will be 50%. It differs between the different types of construction or refurbishment measures. It's a bit less for single measures in comparison with efficiency house construction and refurbishment measures. So the final customer has to bear just with 50% of the cost, and in return to this, there is a high degree of support. To sum up, the involvement of an energy expert in the deployment of public funds creates advantages for all parties involved. It addresses one of the main concerns of private and SME investors in energy efficiency in residential buildings, which is the need for support and orientation. It assures high implementation standards due to technical requirements. It creates a market for professional services. And last but not least, it's a focal element of quality control in deploying public funds. I hope I have covered all the main points, and please feel free to ask me for any additional information. Thank you.
Thank you, Bettina. We're going to pass the word to our colleague Borja Gumucio, in charge of Opengela. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. Yes. You're not watching my screen, aren't you?
Yes,
I can see it. Yeah.
Yeah, but okay. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, AGENEX, for hosting this summit about this webinar about benchmarking on contractors and energy experts. My name is Borja Gumucio. I work for GNE. I'm the manager, program manager for GNE in the Basque Country of Opengela, and I will be pleased to present you how are we doing things here about the constructors training and validation tools that we are applying here in the Basque Country. Just before starting about talking about this, just a quick note about what is Opengela. Opengela, as Alfredo said, is a service that provides a one-stop shop inside the most vulnerable districts in the Basque Country to provide. You lost. Do you see my screen, or I got some problems? I think
we can still see it.
Okay. To provide the services to both the constructors and the citizens on each step of the project. What we try to do is to create this trust required between both, between everyone to really impulse what is the urban renovation inside. So I can't see my screen, so I don't know which slide that you're watching at. I don't know if it's a problem.
We're seeing this at the first one.
Yeah, but I don't know if I can change it. Are you? Can you I don't know how to do this.
Borja, if you want, we can present for you.
Now I can see.
Now you are changing the slide.
Yeah. Okay, how do we do it? When we offer, as I said, services through the one-stop shop that covers 4 different aspects. The first one is a technical support to both the citizens and the contractors. The second one is we create a pool of verified and trust constructors to promote all the renovations inside the neighborhood. Offering a support to the customer, obviously, is both the citizens and the constructors, and also finally with affordable and accessible finance to really pay for the services. Focusing on these services, the technical support covers 5 different aspects. I mean, we create a technical diagnosis to realize really what are the main goals that they're going to achieve from the energy efficiency point of view. But not only from that, also we cover what is measures of accessibility or possible any problem that will have according to the building. Once this diagnosis is already done, they need a technical project to develop it. In each single step, also we cover all the aspects, not only the energy efficiency. Once the project is already decided and clear what we are going to do on that building, we proceed with a contractor process. In order to create this tender, what we do is to help the customers, to help in this place the citizens, the housing communities, to promote that tender with all our validated contractors, where these contractors can apply and present their offer for this tender. Once they already signed the contract and is already ongoing the project, we offer project management services, including digital tools and everything required to make the project as smooth and simple as possible. We try to manage every kind of misunderstanding between both and offer solutions to make everything as better as we can. Also, in 5th place, but not last, and last but not least, also we try to we offer renewable energy systems services to promote the renewable to cover the energy demand with a new renewable energy. So in the Basque Country, we're talking especially about photovoltaic energy, biomass, or aerothermal heat pumps. But we cover other things like district heatings or other solutions that could be deployed on the neighborhood. Moving on to the contractors, the most important thing here to know is that what we provide is a pool of trusted contractors. How we do these trusted contractors? It is easier. Basically, what we do is divided all the technical and professional persons that we can join the program in 3 different groups. They according to the professional skills and abilities that they already have. We divide them between companies and professionals that can do, they can be part of the renovation process, such as architects, engineers, constructors, companies, or something. Also, we make a distinction for those ESCO energy services companies that can provide them not only the services, but also the financing, join all together like an ESCO contract. We all know what it is, so moving on. And also we make a special place for those other companies that not only for the technical point of view, but also from the administrative point of view, a legal assistance, they can provide.
Borja, sorry, yes. I think we are not following the slide on which you are talking about now, because you are in slide 5, right?
Let me try to put it. Let's
For
see
some
if
reason, we are only seeing the slide number 2. Right,
I don't
now
know what's
that's
going
right.
on.
And if you go up, close,
Yeah.
up left, you can choose the full screen mode if you want. So right, all right, that should
But
be it.
you're watching. What are you watching right now?
We are watching slide the first one, with the map of the Basque Country. The second one, actually.
I don't know what's going on. Sorry for the director problems that we've got.
It's okay. Elvira, could you please
Now?
oh, now it's right. Now you're all right.
Oh.
Okay.
Okay. I see now.
Thanks.
Okay, now as we were saying, we cover 3 different groups of contractors. The first one is the companies that do it for the professional qualification, could be part of the renovation process, such as architects, technical architects, or engineers, or constructor companies, or many other companies. The second one is the distinction in these kind of companies that also not only can offer the service, but also the financing. They are the energy services companies, as you already all know. And the third group is those experts that can provide not only a technical but also an administrative or a legal assistance, such as and they are really important, these guys, not only the contractors, people like administradores de fincas or these kind of companies. What we do with them is an ongoing process that starts with a vetting and validation of 4 different aspects of the company. The first aspect is the technical validation. What we analyze over here is the capacity and the experience of the company, looking down to the last years of what the job they've done. We require them to provide us the last 3-4 years projects that they've already done to us to analyze which kind of company it is. Once we analyze this, we move on with the financial validation. We want to be sure that they are in order, of course, with all legal departments, Seguridad Social or tax department or whatever, but also if they are capable to create a very expensive project, such as constructor companies. The third place is the quality and experience. It's not only that they have to prove what they've done, but they have to show us what are the qualities of the job they've done, the certification they've already got, and what is the experience in different places. I only put over here 3 certifications that are mostly the same for everyone. The 9001 and 1400,001 and the 18,000. There are 3 certifications. They are mainly for everyone, and for every single different type of project, we ask for the precise certifications related to that project. For example, if we are talking about biomass or something, we will require the precise certification for the biomass. And in the tender, the constructors has to show up which certifications do they have. And the fourth aspect that we cover, and it's really important for us, is that we really want contractors that are committed with the society, with the goals that we are trying to achieve. This is not only a project that involves energy efficiency, but also, as we are working on very vulnerable people districts, we were looking forward to promote local jobs, to be part of the community, to gender aspects, and many other things that we also take into account when we make this vetting and validation process. This is an ongoing process, and as I mentioned before, that means that once the contracts or the professional wants to sign in, it's okay for us. We make all this verification, but for every single year or every time they make a job or every time we decided we have to do it, we will start from the beginning and do it the same. That's the way we assure that the technical and the quality are always as high as we can get. And what are the benefits for the contractors that works over here? The main benefit is that we save money and time for them. What we do provide them is a pool of business opportunities for them to join in. When we reduce them all the commercial and selling process by offering them public tenders that they are only for validated companies. That's the reason, that's the way we save time and money for them. Also, we can help them during the project management. Not only one is already ongoing, the project, but also on all the steps previously, and once the project is done. We try to find out all the problems that they can have with all the misunderstanding they can have with the citizens, and try to find any kind of understanding between both. So we try to make everything as smooth as possible. And the third thing that we provide is also the possibility to join our financial instruments. We provide financial instruments to help very vulnerable people. This is important, very vulnerable people to have access to financing, but not only access, but also that this financing will be affordable according to the social economical situation. This is a really key point to move on with the urban renovation in those areas. So for our pool of validated and trusted constructors, we offer them the access to this financial instrument. Down on this slide, you can see what is a briefing of how is the ongoing process, from the validation of the onboarding, of the training and on the boarding on the program, then signing up all the contractors on all the documents with us. From that moment, they can join up all the tenders that we provide them, of making the offerings and everything. And once they hire with the condominium, they start with the project execution. One of the most important things to work on very vulnerable people is the risk of non-payment that the contractors are achieving over here. So from the program, we try to provide a guarantee over that payment for this kind of works. So we try to reduce the risk in this point by offering some guarantees from ourselves. I got 10 minutes. I think I'm done with my time. Thank you very much for your time and your. I will be pleased to answer any kind of questions you have.
Thanks a lot, Borja. We're going to pass the word to our last speaker, Mr. Francisco Javier Marquez. Welcome, Francisco.
Hi, welcome. Can you confirm that you see my screen in full screen mode?
Yes, no problem.
Okay, thank you. So thank you, Alfredo, for your presentation, and also thank to the EUROPACE project for the opportunity to speak and show what we are doing in Extremadura region. Okay, so please let me explain a little bit what we are doing in the Housing Bed project. The Housing Bed project is a H2020 project that aim to improve the energy efficiency of condominiums, and recently also in single-family houses. Okay, until now we have achieved interesting results, such as the one-stop shop named OSIR, that born with another European project, Innovate project, but in the Housing Bed, these one-stop shops have become in the link between the user, the homeowners, and the services offered by the project, okay, by the Housing Bed project. Other important result is the guarantee fund, named in Spanish, Fondo GEBE. And summarizing, because we can spend the whole event talking about this guarantee fund. The fund is a specific financial instrument that improve the economic condition for the deep energy rehabilitation. Okay, this financial instrument is running since the beginning of May, and is offered by 3 different banks in the Extremadura region. Okay. Until now, Housing Base is analyzing more than 180 condominiums. 20 of them are already in the rehabilitation process, and we produce energy saving almost of 4 megawatts hour per year, and renewable energy production about 70 megawatts hour per year, and about 800 tons of CO2 emission savings per year. So it's a good number. Okay. And in the eligible investment, I mean, which are the eligible investment? The technical advice for the project is focuses on the envelope improvement, the energy efficiency improvement in elevators, the HVAC system improvement, such as boiler replacement, aerothermal, etc., and the integration of renewable energy in the building, mainly photovoltaic energy. I think that it is shared with my colleagues with the project that you have shown before. Just to know that in the Housing Base project, we are working in a public-private approach. Okay. On the demand side, this part of here, in the demand side, the one-stop shop composed by AGENEX, the Extremadura Energy Agency, the regional government, and the Building Manager Association makes a preliminary study of the building. Okay. On the financial side or economic financial side, this one over here. Okay. Housing Base offers different financial scenarios to the homeowners, but the first one, of course, is the bank offer supported by the guarantee fund. Okay. And one additionally, the one-stop shop is responsible for selecting the investment projects that could be funded by the guarantee fund. Okay. The 3 regional banks that we are working on in this financial scenario are the Caja Rural of Extremadura, Ibercaja, and Triodos Bank. Okay. Both previous processes, the demand side and the financial side, are led by the public sector. Okay. Meanwhile, in the middle, the private sector has been added to this approach for the integration of this sector, the private sector. Several steps are being done. Okay. Sorry. The first step is to build the capacity of the business sector, which is made in 2 main axes. Okay. The axis 1 about online training for technicians, mainly architects and engineers, but also builders, about energy efficient construction solution. Okay. The H2 it focuses on a specific training on energy saving calculation, warranty system, etc. And additionally, we are also working on the integration of measurement and other things. Okay. In this way, we have 2 editions of the Housing Base training program, named Energy Rehabilitation for Building, the Housing Base model. This is the title of the program. Of course, all this training program is done in Spanish. Okay. And we have more than 130 workers training in the first edition last year in 2020. Okay. And about 220 students has started the second edition this year. Have started just several weeks ago. Okay, this activity It's also supported by several webinars made in the last edition and the current edition. Some of the webinars are exclusive for a student from the Housing Bed training program, but others are open to the public. Okay, about 110 and 150 people attend the Housing Bed webinar, which is a good number. Okay. And the webinar are not only related to the training content, but also include extended information on the latest news of the sector, such as grant, statistical information, new services that we are put in the Housing Bed project. For example, in the last webinar held in May, we took the opportunity to inform about the warranty fund that was launched several weeks before. The second step in the collaboration is the collaboration with the sectoral association. This is one of the most important steps for us. Okay, Housing Bed is promoting agreement with sectoral associations such as the Professional Association of Architects, the Professional Association of Engineers, the Regional Association of Builders, etc. Okay, we make a team building or a collaboration process between the project and the sectoral association. Okay, for us, was clear that the project cannot compete with the professional market, with the professional sector. Okay, we keep in mind that any possible negative impact on the business sector must be avoided. Okay, this was very important for us. Taking this into account, the agreement focused on provide the services that Housing Beds cannot offer because it's composed by public entities. Okay, this means that the agreement had the aim to fill the gap on the services provided by Housing Bed project, which means also the one-stop shop OCA. For example, when homeowner needs an architect, because please keep in mind that we address to deep energy rehabilitation, with most of the time need a project seen by a technician. Okay. In this case, the homeowners should need an architect. Then a database on architects specialized in rehabilitation, energy rehabilitation in this case, is provided by the Professional Association of Architects. Okay. In this way, Housing Beds, that remember is fit with public sources, avoid competing with the professional market. The impact on the market is just for promoting and boosting the sectoral, this business, the rehabilitation business. This was something that public partners were very concerned. The issue was discussed with some professional and their association, and this procedure was one of the solutions. Okay. Additionally, we make periodic meeting with the association with the aim to improve the procedure little by little. Okay. I mean, I have been speaking about the architect as an example, but finally something similar happened with the rest of the career, with the rest of the business sector. Okay. The third step is to provide advice and coordination for homeowners and building managers. Yeah. Housing Bed doesn't select the contractor, but we provide advice on the bid sent by the contractor. This means that we help to owners and building managers to understand, to clarify the bids. However, we don't make the selection. We don't even give the selection, because other thing that is very important for us is that the final decision should be always taken by the homeowners. Okay, the homeowners had the last word. That's something we say. So the advice and that via coordination service are still provided to the homeowners until the end of the works. But not only to homeowners, we can also advise to and help to contractor, technician, and so on. Okay. We used to say that Housing Base is a tool that we provide to homeowners and contractors for boosting their building energy rehabilitation. Okay, that's a slogan that in Spanish sounds better than in English, so sorry for that. And we have a 4th step, but under the development. Okay, we are working on that. It's not offered to the homeowners right now, but it will be done in the future, maybe, and we hope after the summer. Okay, this is the warranty of the energy saving. Okay, currently we are developing 2 different approaches on the warranty of the energy saving. The first one is a regular energy saving warranty. This will be based on the theoretical study made before works. Okay, measurements in order to check some parameters like conductivity, like energy performance, etc., are expected when works have just finished. In this way, the measurement should confirm the theoretical study and should be included in the contractor and the measurement and verification protocol that will be signed with the technician companies. Okay, the main advantage is that they will have a low cost for owners. Okay, the cost of this regular energy saving guarantees will be included in the bids of the company. Okay. The second option is the performance energy saving guarantee that, with the aim to explain in a summary way, okay, is similar to conventional contract with ESCOs. Okay, it will be based on a baseline. Baseline means a reference energy consumption for the building. Okay, reference energy consumption for the building that could be agreed between the company and homeowners, advised by the Housing Bed projects. Okay, this process will be coordinated and supported by the Housing Bed project. The baseline, the measurement, and other conditions for the guarantee should be included in the measurement and verification protocol and the contract. As well as the contract lifetime, because the company should be responsible for the operation and maintenance of the building energy system, which means that homeowner should pay a fee for this operation and maintenance service. But in any way, we plan that the saving must cover this fee. Okay, so at the end, I think I will be faster, and that's all from my side. You have more information about Housing Best project in our website, and of course I am available for any question. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Francisco. We are a bit beyond our expectations, because we only have 10 minutes to go until 12:30, but I think we will keep the seminar a little bit longer open. Okay. Let me share. Okay, hey. So we were expecting to finish off at 12:30, but if we can, Elvira, we will keep the webinar open a little bit longer, just to give some time to answer some questions in the debate time, because of course we are way beyond the time allocated to the speakers. It happens very often, and I also understand that minutes are quite few. it's not really enough to explain all the complexities of the different programs that we are studying in this webinar. So
Yes,
do we have
yes, we have the time. Never mind.
Okay. Do we have any questions from the audience? Can we see it somehow?
No, the attendants can send their questions through the chat, and the panelists, the speakers, are available to answer all the questions.
I know, yeah, that's what I mean. But we still have no questions in the chat, right? Not that I see it. Okay. Just I wanted to confirm. So in order to start with the questions and answers debate or time, I have here some chosen some questions in order to start with the debate if possible. I will start directly following the same order of intervention. So I will start with my colleague Eduardo Victoria and ask him about can you hear me, Eduard? Can you open your?
Yeah.
All right.
I can hear you. Yeah.
Okay. So which are in your opinion the most well, you first of all you were talking about the point system, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Could you please explain the most common incident and if they have any kind of effect in the point system? And if not, can you please explain which are the most common incidents in general? So specifically explaining a little bit how the point system works, and also if you can tell us if in the reality you have applied it.
Well, we have applied it just a few times. It's a system just to control the works of the professionals, right? If they have do it some wrong, or well, the time we have applied it, this point system is more about have some delay because we planned some execution works. Maybe there are some delay, and the homeowner will get a little bit angry, and we just have to put some points in that professional to be addressed and finish the works on time. In another times, we had some issues about the quality of the works, but not a huge impact of that quality, but it was a really few situation that we had to address, but that's the main situations.
Okay. So thank you, Eduard. Still no questions from the audience, so I will address another question to the KfW, to Ms. Bettina Dorendorf, because basically this is the KfW is the longest service retrofit promoting program in this panel. So you've been working for many years, and this is not you are not a newbie in the issue. So I'm sure you have some interesting insights in how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the demand for retrofits and loan at the KfW, and if you have anything to say about the possible effects in the participation of experts, which I don't think so, but in general, you know, how the COVID-19 pandemic has affected the demand, and also if it had any effect at all in the participation of experts. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So during the COVID-19 crisis, KfW has significantly increased the grant element of the promotional scheme. So by significantly increasing the grant element, we triggered a lot of additional demand. So last year in 2020, we provided 1 million, so large 1 million loans and grants for energy efficiency in the building sector. So this is really impressive, and the bulk of them stemmed from new construction, but also single measures and to a lesser extent, comprehensive refurbishment works. This is logical because it requires a longer planning process. But providing a generous public support, which was up to 45% of grant element, meaning that 45% of a loan does not have to be repaid. Which is really a big incentive to have a closer look at building a new energy efficient house. Does this have an effect on the involvement of the energy expert? Well, the higher the number of promotional cases, the higher the more intensive the request towards the energy experts, of course. But please also allow me, and of course, I mean, KfW has built up the infrastructure for the deployment of public funds over many, many years. And given that KfW is not providing loans to the end beneficiaries, but is working via an on-lending scheme, we have a very broad scope of reach in all different regions of the country. Let me allow just to give a comment on the presentations I just saw. I found it very interesting that all these projects look at the quality of the contractor, so of the construction company, actually. So I wonder why in Spain you saw the need to address this topic first. Second question, I found it very interesting that Open Gala is targeting energy efficiency renovation for vulnerable population. And I was asking myself how the financing works. And also last question, and I hope this does not overburden the discussion, to which degree have you actually envisaged to involve energy experts, perhaps in a similar way as we do in Germany?
Okay, so let me sum up. So first question will be why targeting contractors, right?
Why are you just focusing on the quality of the work? I mean, the projects you just presented, they focus on controlling the quality of the work of the contractors.
Okay, so, and then second question to Open Gala will be on the energy poverty issue, right?
Energy poverty and how is the I understood that financing is provided to the contractors via a guarantee fund or via a fund. Okay. Or the payment is guaranteed. How does it work, and what does the vulnerable population have to pay? So I would assume that they are not homeowners, but yeah, tenants. But perhaps okay. The situation is a bit different in Spanish compared to Germany.
I think we can address the first question to maybe to Ola Domus, because they are basically very much focused on contractor direct management. So if Eduard Victoria can start preparing the answer, and then the Open Gala question, of course, can be answered by Borja. But first, before getting into that, I have here one question directly directed at Bettina, because Michael Oerlings, probably coming from the Netherlands, is asking if it is likely that the KfW will expand to other countries like the Netherlands or Spain, then how to develop a similar program in other countries. Is that possible at all? Could you translate your experience to other countries, so on?
Yes, actually, it would be possible. However, there is a number of preconditions to be accomplished with. So let me, for good order's sake, say that now the program is not the KfW program for energy efficiency, but the federal promotional scheme for energy efficiency in buildings, not KfW-led, but led by the federal government. And KfW is one of the institutions implementing the federal program. However, in the past, we have been asked many times whether the KfW scheme can be transposed to other countries. Yes, it can. What do you need? What are the factors of success? I outlined this in my presentation and the backup slides. Actually, if someone is interested, all the elements are listed over there. There is the government mandate. Then it's important to have a reliable public budget available to support to blend loans and grants. Third one is an institution such as KfW or an agency in charge of deploying the funds in a standardized way. And given that KfW does not assume individual credit risk for the end customers, so it would be required to build up this network of on-lending process. So KfW has a broad network of financing partners. So actually all German banks, large commercial banks, savings banks, but also the regional promotional banks working together with KfW. So there's a very dense network making sure that the promotional offer is brought to every corner in Germany. In order to set up the energy efficiency expert list, this took time. And there is the need to have an entity established to assume responsibility for managing the pool of experts. Last but not least, building up a standardized and reliable long-term promotional scheme where the success elements, one of the success elements is the standardized nature, the reliability of the promotional conditions, and an attractive incentive for the end customer. This requires the budget, the mandate, and the institution.
Okay, thank you. I think we can pass directly with Eduard Victoria. I don't know if you understood well the question of Bettina, but I think it's why she has the impression that we are targeting mainly the contractors. Why are we so keen, so insistent in targeting contractors and not, as they do in Germany, energy experts?
Well, our experience is that we did a survey before to start the program, and we realized that most of the homeowners, they don't trust or they need to have a trusted contractor, and that's why we focus on to have that contractors validated and to be formed to do that jobs. And when we get that contractors, they are well enough to do that jobs. That's simple.
And it's also important to understand that here we are talking in many cases about regional and local programs, which is not the case of the big structure in Germany in place. So I understand also that in the case of Germany, it will be impossible to certify, validate, as they do in OpenGela or as they do in Ola Domus or even in House Invest. To have this direct relation to the professionals. So
yes, yeah. If I may, I mean, I find it very interesting because, of course, if you build up a scheme on the national level, it's not possible. However, the one-stop shop approaches you presented, they work on a regional level. And I think when thinking about one-stop shops, one of the success elements is the regional approach, because it involves the construction companies, the handcraftsmen from the region, and you just mentioned the question of trust. So people entering into a contract, service contract, construction contract, they need to trust the company involved. So I found the one-stop shop approach, the regional one-stop approach, very, very appealing. Actually, I would like to learn more about it. And I think I'm not sure whether you agree, but do you also think that one-stop shop solutions can only be successful when set up on a regional level?
I think we could pass that question maybe to Antoine and let Borja answer the question that Bettina made before. Okay. So Antoine, you go with the second last question of Bettina, and Borja, you go with the energy poverty issue. All right?
With pleasure.
Okay. So please, Borja, go ahead.
Thank you for the question, Bettina. Answering your question, what we provide is financing for the citizens. We allow the constructors to use our financing, but what we do provide is financing for the homeowners, especially the vulnerable people. How do we manage the risk for the vulnerable people? Of course, we make the risk tool in collaboration with the public authorities to provide this collateral that is needed for the financing. And how do we assure the payment? That is because the loan is not given to the citizen. The money is given strictly to the constructors. I mean, if a citizen asks for or signs for a loan, we don't give the money to the citizens. We pay the invoices coming from the constructors or the housing communities. That's the reason we can assure or we can guarantee that the constructors are going to get paid.
Okay.
And that's the answer. So please, Antoine, can you please go ahead with the other question, Bettina?
No problem. With the question of, if I understood it well, with why is it relevant to work at a local level when we think about one-stop shops? Right. Let me just begin with this. I didn't mention it, but actually, in the office project, the third-party financing companies that I mentioned are actually what we could define as one-stop shops, and we actually define them as one-stop shop in the English versions of our documents. We just to be transparent, we work a lot in French, and yes, I didn't put in that very specific word, but I do confirm that as well as Eduardo, the companies we're working with are one-stop shops, and they are all at a local level. There are no national level one-stop shops in this project. And the reason why, why I think it is relevant and why we think it is relevant to work at a local level is, first of all, what you said, Bettina, and what you said, Eduardo. This is the first reason. It's the trust of end customer. It allows those one-stop shops to better understand the local list of experts, the local list of professionals, and have a better, I would say, management of those companies, of those professionals, better knowledge of those professionals. But the second thing is what is very relevant to work at a local level is those experts, those one-stop shops, they also have a better understanding of the local existing buildings, the local construction methods, which is rather important to have a good ability to appreciate the capacity of different professionals and experts to perform rehabilitation services. And the last thing I would add, beside Eduardo, beside trust, which is really our key driver here. Trust is our key driver, trust of end customer. I would add that one of the main goals one of the main reasons why we thought about quality as a first condition is trust of end customers, I just said, and as we just said, but also trust of the financial sectors, commercial banks, and etc., who need to trust the projects so that they can fund them and take the risk, as Bettina said, and then the trust of investors who are gonna probably gonna invest in those green projects, green renewable projects. So it's trust on all ends, on customer end, on the financial end, and on the investment end. So I do hope it answers Bettina's question.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we have last question, and I think we will close the seminar afterwards to my colleague Francisco. You were talking before about agreements with sectoral and professional associations, right? Do these agreements include provisions in order to ensure the adequacy of contractor? So basically, what happens when a contractor inside one of these agreements acts bad, or is like a toxic contractor that doesn't make his work well? What happens?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's a good question, but I have a simple answer, because the selection is done by the professional association, and at this stage we cannot recommend or unrecommend companies. So this is not from our side, because we cannot compete or introduce this ration in the market. So it's one thing that we translate to the we give to the professional association, and they are who deal with this situation.
Basically,
Okay.
there will be the professional association will be in charge directly of dealing with bad professionals, right? Not you.
Yeah, that's the issue.
And
okay,
that's
and they have some legal procedure to punish, more or less punish to this kind of companies. Okay.
Okay, so they do it internally. You cannot intervene.
Yeah, that's the issue.
So thank you all. Thanks for your participation. It was a great webinar. Sorry for the few technical problems that we had, and sorry also for the longer time that it took to finish the webinar. So we are 15 minutes above the deadline or the finish time, but doesn't matter very much. It's not much. So thanks a lot, Bettina, Antoine, Borja, Francisco, Eduard. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Elvira. And see you in next EUROPACE webinar. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.